Hey, this is James Colley with Ridgeline Creative, and today we are going to take a look at keying in After Effects. We are going to take this green screen video here and we're going to take away everything but the green. So part of the shot is, make sure this isn't the most perfect key job here. You can see some shadows, you can see there's quite a few wrinkles on this screen, but this is by far one of the best things that you can do. It's not going to hinder you from keying this out. So let's take a look at some techniques that we can use. The first thing that I am going to do is mask these guys out. You see how when directed they did a great job of keeping these guys on the green the entire shot. There's not at one point where these guys step off of the green or the gun comes off the green. That's important. So what we're going to do is let's mask out around here so we can get rid of these out here that we cannot key or do anything with. So what I'm going to do is come up here, grab my pen tool, and I am going to, I do not want to draw a shape. I want to make sure my layer is selected, and then I'm going to just start masking around here. I'm going to keep it pretty close. Just keep clicking and I go outside of my comp just to make sure that I'm getting everything and avoid some of those wrinkles. We know nobody's going to step over there, so I'm going to cut those out. Okay, perfect. Okay, gone. The lights and everything, those are out of the scene. We don't have to worry about them anymore. So now what we're going to do is we're going to select our layer, and we're going to go to Effect and down to Keying and Key Light 1.2. This is a great keying utility. I love how quick and easy this is. We're going to grab an eyedropper, and we're going to get kind of a problem area. So we're going to take a little darker, and we're going to get really close here, and we're going to click. Okay, it looks like you did the job, but what you want to do is you want to come and check out your screen mat, and as you can see, we do not have a good job. We want this to be as solid or as close to solid as possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop down screen mat. We're going to bring our blacks up. Bring our blacks up to about, let's say 17 for now. We're going to drop our whites down to about there. Now if you take a look at that, there's no fuzz around the edges. I'm going to go ahead and scrub forward, make sure when they get a little closer to the camera I don't have any problems. And as you may or may not be able to see, there are a couple problems up here in his hat where there's maybe a hot spot. You can see through that, so I'm going to leave that alone actually, and I'm going to drop my white down just a little bit more. So I got rid of that spot. Alright, so we got a nice outline there. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the final result. Okay, so that's one part of the puzzle down. To double check, I like to create a new layer, solid, and grab a nice bright white. Make sure it's comp size, and then throw it down behind. This way you can check for anything that's kind of gotten stuck there. You can kind of see the edges. The biggest thing you want to make sure of is that you don't get a lot of those jagged pixelations around the edge. If you are getting a lot of those, which we're looking pretty clean on this realistically, but if you're getting some of those, let's go back into Key Light, and we can shrink or grow the screen. So as you can see there, you can grow it out and you can shrink it down. What I like to do if I'm getting some of those jagged edges is take it down to -1, maybe -2. What I'll also do is add just a tiny bit if I have to, only if I have to, of screen softness. So maybe like 0.4%. I don't like doing that because it takes away from your composition. If you don't have to do it, don't do it. So let's take a look here. What do we got? We got these SWAT guys coming towards the camera, and the next thing that we should do is do a little bit of color correction. because their faces are a little yellow from the green screen and everything. Let's go to color correction, and let's go to hue and saturation. Okay, what I'm going to do is take my master saturation and I'm going to drop it down to about 45. And there you can see that's starting to look a little bit better. And you're one step closer to doing something cool. Let's go ahead and search for let's see what we got here. As far as a background to put in there, let's take a look. I'm going to just get my grunge texture and I'm going to drag it over here. Didn't look like I made it. Let's do it one more time. Grunge texture. Okay. So you just grab a picture, throw it back behind there, and then start doing your color correction. You can do a lot of neat stuff with that right there. That's not necessarily what I'm going for, so let's take off the black and let's show you something cool. If you guys haven't checked this out, you need to. VideoCopilot.net has a great new plugin. Let's go ahead and create a new solid, and let's make it black. And let's go ahead and go to Video Copilot. This is a plugin that you can buy from VideoCopilot.net, optical flares. Let's load this baby up. Alright, so as you can see, what it does is give you some cool light techniques. I bought the Pro package, so if you want to add like a laser to this guy's gun, which is pretty neat, let's go and check out Pro presets and scroll down to, here's a cool one, laser point. Let's see what else we got that may work for that. I'm going to actually choose this one here called Taser, just because that's kind of cool. Hit OK, and I am going to preview, or I'm going to preview it on my. I'm actually going to come down here and apply an additive layer. Or I can actually do, you can add quite a few of these depending on what your look is. For this, I'm going to stick with something like a screen. I'm going to take the scale down, and so if that guy's pointing it right here, you can control. One cool thing about this is you can kind of control where both parts of the light's going. So you can control the top and the bottom. So say he's sweeping back and forth, and he comes across the camera, bam. That's pretty neat. To go ahead and get this keyed to the whole thing, you're going to want to keyframe each single frame, or you're going to want to motion track something. Think about that before you start doing your production. But I just had to show that off. I've been messing around with it, and Andrew Kramer rocks. So if you haven't checked it out, go buy it. It's awesome. It's a great price, and it adds to all your stuff here. So this has been James Colley with 27FX and Ridgeline Creative.